Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kroll's Emerging Threat Weekly Briefing for the Monday of 13th of April 2026. My name is Mikesh Nagara, and speaking with me today is Mark Messer and Ethan Afflery from the Threat Intelligence team. Today, I will be covering a vulnerability in Fortinet EMS. Ethan will be covering Storm 1175, accelerating Medusa ransomware intrusions, and Mark will be going through the DPRK-linked social engineering that has been running for at least 6 months according to Drift Protocol, and a device code phishing industrializing through EvilTokens and Copycat kits. So, a critical vulnerability impacting FortiClient EMS with a CVS score of 9.1 has been confirmed as active exploitation in the wild. The CVE in question is CVE 2026-35616 and has been seen being exploited in the wild in the US and Singapore. The government agencies over there have issued an urgent notice after researchers observed real-world attacks. The vulnerability in CVE 2026-35616 is a pre-authentication API authentication and authorization bypass affecting version 7.4.15 and 7.4.16. Successful exploitation for this vulnerability allows for unauthenticated attackers to execute arbitrary commands and effectively take control of endpoint management operations. Now, Fortinet has released emergency hotfixes, and CISA has set aggressive patching timelines for the US federal agencies. Now over to Ethan to tell us more about Storm 1175, accelerating Medusa ransomware intrusions.
Thanks,
Over to
Mukesh.
you, Ethan.
Microsoft reports that the threat actor Storm 1175 is conducting high-speed Medusa ransomware campaigns by aggressively targeting vulnerable internet-facing systems. The group primarily exploits newly discovered vulnerabilities, sometimes within a day of disclosure, and has even demonstrated the ability to use zero-day exploits before they become public. This allows them to gain initial access quickly and move toward full compromise in as little as 24 hours, though many attacks unfold over several days. Once inside a network, Storm 1175 establishes persistence by creating new user accounts and then uses a mix of legitimate administrative tools and remote monitoring software like PowerShell, PSExec, Screen Connect, and AnyDesk to move laterally and avoid detection. They also perform credential theft using tools like Mimikatz and Impacket, escalate privileges, and disable or tamper with security defenses such as antivirus protections. The group then conducts data exfiltration using tools like rclone before deploying Medusa ransomware across the environment, often leveraging enterprise tools like PDQ Deployer for widespread impact. Their operations heavily affect sectors like healthcare, education, finance, and professional services across the US, UK, and Australia. This activity shows the growing speed and sophistication of ransomware attacks and underscores the importance of rapid patching, strong credential protections, and visibility into exposed systems. Thank you, Mukesh.
Thank you, Ethan. Now over to Mark to tell us more about DPRK-linked social engineering and device code phishing. Over to you, Mark.
Thanks, Mikesh. This is involving targeting in the cryptocurrency, DeFi, protocol contributor, and developer sectors. Drift Protocol said its April 1st exploit was the culmination of a 6-month-long social engineering operation requiring significant resources and deliberate preparation, according to the project's public statement as reported by Cointelegraph. Drift said the activity began around October 2025 when people posing as a quantitative trading firm approached contributors at a major crypto conference and then continued relationship building at later industry events. The project said that the actors were technically fluent and appeared to have credible professional backgrounds and used that trust to deliver malicious links and tools that eventually compromised contributor devices. Drift claims medium-high confidence that the same actors were behind the October 2024 Radiant Capital hack, which was also tied to malware delivered through trusted interaction. Drift further notes that the individuals involved in the in-person engagement were not themselves North Korean nationals, aligning with broader reporting that DPRK operatives are using intermediaries for relationship building and access development. While the victim in this case is a DeFi platform, the tradecraft is transferable well beyond crypto. Long-term pretexting, conference-based targeting, and delayed malware delivery through trusted contact. That makes this one of the week's more important examples of human layer compromise rather than purely technical intrusion. Recommendations are to treat unsolicited partnerships or integration outreaches as potential security events when it involves software exchange. Apply stricter device isolation and malware screening for staff attending conferences and industry meetups, and requiring out-of-band validation before opening shared drives, links, or collaboration tooling from new contacts. Moving on to talk about device code phishing industrializing through EvilTokens and Copycat kits. This is largely targeting enterprise users, Microsoft 365 tenants, executives, and SaaS users. Bleeping Computer reported that device code phishing attacks abusing the OAuth 2.0 device authorization grant flow have surged more than 37 times this year compared to last year. Pardon me. In these attacks, the victim is lured into entering an attacker-provided code on a legitimate login page, authorizing the attacker's device and yielding valid access and refresh tokens. Researchers told Bleeping Computer that EvilTokens is a major driver of this growth, but not the only one. The report lists at least 11 kits now offering realistic SaaS-branded lures, anti-bot protections, and cloud-hosted infrastructure, lowering the skill threshold for operators who want to run token theft campaigns at scale. This technique is effective because it abuses legitimate authentication workflows rather than fake lookalike login pages alone. That reduces the need to actually steal passwords directly, instead tricking users into granting authorized sessions that can later be used to access mailboxes and other cloud resources. What is of significance is the visible commercialization of this method. What was once a more specialized tradecraft used by select actors is now being packaged as phishing as a service, making broader compromise against Microsoft 365 tenants much more likely wherever device code flows remain enabled. Thank you, Mikesh, and back to you.
And that's all that we have for this week. Thank you to Mark and Ethan for presenting alongside me today. And if you do have any questions, please do contact us at cti@kroll.com. That's cti@kroll.com. Thank you, and see you all next week.